Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a very quick video about something I thought of a long time ago, back in 2005, but I hadn't gotten around to make a video about it. And it's a question that I address to very conservative or fundamentalist Muslims. And the responses have never really been very good. But more important than the response, I think, is the question itself, which is why I want to make this video right now. And basically, it's about the 2005 Kashmir earthquake. And basically, as you guys know, Kashmir is a state that was divided between Pakistan and India. And there's been multiple wars fought over it. Lots of people have died. It's a hotbed of religious was a hotbed of religious extremism. I think that's gone down in recent days. Um, but for decades, it was not a pleasant place to be. In any case, I want to talk about this earthquake not as a way of gloating. I don't want to gloat over the dead. You know, it's not a good thing when people die. But I want to take this in the same sort of perspective and hope to engage in the same sort of dialogue that philosophers engaged in right after the 1755 Lisbon earthquake. And it's in that context that I want to talk about the 2005 Kashmir earthquake. So in the 1755 Lisbon earthquake, it was one of the worst earthquakes in modern history, and tens of thousands of people were killed. And the people who were killed were not all immoral. They were not all moral. They were people of all sorts, of all ages, of all socioeconomic statuses, of all groups, were lost in the earthquake. It happened on a Christian religious holiday. Um, a lot of churches were destroyed in Lisbon when this earthquake happened, but the red light district of Lisbon was barely damaged. So this brought up a lot of questions for philosophers back in the day, and some say that it even inspired or pushed the age of enlightenment as we know it today, because it didn't make sense to people, you know, back in the day, that God would hurt people indiscriminately, you know, like whether they were good or bad, you know, whether they were old or young. It didn't matter what their profession was. They were killed indiscriminately during the earthquake, and churches were destroyed. You know, it didn't make any sense to them. And of course, the deaths of so many people is sad, but the fact that we moved beyond, in the West at least, a sort of primeval and immature thinking of causality in natural phenomenon, and in the idea that God is with me, you know, and with my country, and the sort of jingoism that comes from that sort of religious fervor, that sort of dissipated after a while, and this earthquake was one of the factors for why that happened, why it was so important in the age of enlightenment. In the same way, I want to talk about the 2005 Kashmir earthquake, and I want to address this question of fundamentalists, Muslims. And in the same way, I hope that we had an enlightenment period back in the day. I hope this causes some people to think about what their beliefs are. So, in the 2005 earthquake, it affected both the Muslim region in Pakistani Kashmir and the Muslim and Hindu region in Indian Kashmir. And basically, in the Pakistan side, 74,698 registered deaths occurred. 74,700 people died in Pakistan, Kashmir. In the Indian side, only 1,400 died. Not even that much. Nearly 1,400 people died. So there's a huge discrepancy here. Moreover, this earthquake happened during the month of Ramadan, and most of the people were sleeping in their homes right after their pre-dawn meal. and that's why there were so many casualties. So they were practicing their religion on a religious month, and they were killed. A lot of people, but not so many on the Indian side, right? The majority Hindu nation, right? Not so many people died. Why? Right? You need to understand for yourself. If you're right, if your fundamentalist God is right, why did more of the people from the Pakistani Kashmir side die than on the Hindu side? Now, I don't even believe that there's a Hindu God. Like, I could potentially argue that, oh, the Hinduism is therefore the right religion, but I'm not even arguing that. I'm just trying to get you to realize, hopefully in the same way that the philosophers of the Age of Enlightenment did in the West, that there's something wrong with your worldview. Thanks a lot, guys.